Welcome to Bedtime Myths and Mysteries, where shadows ride with you down forgotten roads and stories drift beside you like mist on the highway. Tonight we slip behind the wheel and drive into the night, headlights sweeping through dark woods and lonely intersections. We travel the back roads and highways where old legends linger and strange passengers wait for someone to stop. This is the tale of the Vanishing Hitchhiker, an urban legend that drifts through decades and continents, changing faces but never quite fading away. So settle in, close your eyes, and ride with me as we pick up stories of ghostly hitchhikers and phantom travelers who follow the road home. The legend is simple but chilling. A driver travels a lonely stretch of road, headlights catching a figure waiting by the roadside. A young woman stands in the rain or the snow, sometimes wearing an old coat or a dress that doesn't match the season. Moved by something they can't explain, the driver pulls over. She climbs in, thanks them softly, and gives an address that always seems a little too far. They talk sometimes. She says little, but her voice is kind. She's cold. She asks to borrow a coat. When the driver reaches the address, they turn to say goodbye. But the seat is empty. The coat is gone. They knock at the door, confused and shivering. An older person answers, sadness settling in their eyes when they hear the story. They say it happens every year. Their daughter died on that road long ago. She still tries to come home when the night is cold. This is the story told 1,000 times, with names and places that shift but details that stay the same. Chicago has Resurrection Mary. In the 1930s, Mary was said to be a young woman who danced at the Willowbrook Ballroom. One night, she left after an argument and was struck by a passing car on Archer Avenue. Drivers still see her on that stretch of road, a pale figure in a white dress, hand raised for a ride. Some claim she climbs in, asks for the ballroom, and vanishes before they arrive. In Texas, they tell of the ghost of White Rock Lake. A driver sees a woman dripping wet by the water's edge. She says she needs to get home. She climbs in, silent, water pooling on the seat. When the driver glances back, the seat is soaked, but she is gone. The stories drift across oceans. In the Philippines, tales tell of a hitchhiker on Balit Drive in Quezon City. A woman in white appears under the old trees that drape over the road. Drivers say she sits in the back seat, her eyes dark, her face pale. Sometimes she appears in the rearview mirror, smiling softly before fading into the night. Japan too has its road spirits. Some speak of the slit-mouthed woman who appears at night, asking drivers if they think she's pretty. But another tale tells of a simple hitchhiker, a girl in school uniform waiting by a mountain road. Drivers who stop say she asks for a ride to the next town but vanishes at the next curve. Europe is not free of these stories. In the UK, tales of phantom hitchhikers drift along country roads. Near Bluebell Hill in Kent, drivers report a young bride who steps into the path of oncoming cars. Some say she was killed in a car crash on her wedding day. Now she wanders the hill, trying to reach a church she'll never see. These stories hold power because they touch something deep, the mix of kindness, regret, and fear. They warn us that sometimes good deeds meet the unexplained. They ask why some spirits never find rest. The details change. Sometimes it's a young man with a soldier's bag, returning home from a war that ended long ago. Sometimes it's an old woman, silent in the back seat. In Hawaii, there's a legend of the night marchers. Drivers say they see ghostly warriors crossing roads at night. To disturb them brings bad luck. Some who see them stop their cars, bow their heads, and wait for the march to pass. What do these stories mean? Some believe they warn us about the danger of the road itself, the risks of driving alone at night, when headlights bend shadows into strange shapes. Others think they remind us that grief clings to places where tragedy struck. Where someone died suddenly, their spirit might linger, replaying the same last moments. Psychologists say these stories grow from our fear of the dark and our need to explain what we don't understand. A trick of the light, a moment of half-sleep behind the wheel. But even skeptics slow down when the fog curls across the road and a shape appears just ahead. Drivers have sworn they felt the weight shift when someone sat down. They heard the door click shut. They felt a chill in the air that their heater could not warm. When they glance back, no one is there. Yet they remember a faint scent, old perfume, rain-soaked wool, the copper tang of something long buried. Sometimes the coat is never found. Sometimes it appears folded neatly on a gravestone days later. Police reports tell of calls made by confused drivers, of search parties sent to find the girl by the roadside. No trace, no footprints in the fresh snow. The highway returns to silence. Why do we keep telling these stories? Maybe because the road itself feels alive at night, lines of asphalt stretching into darkness, winding through forests and fields. A place between places where reality slips just a little. A car is its own little world, warm, lit, moving fast through the dark. Picking up a stranger breaks that bubble. Suddenly you're not alone. You share that small space with someone whose past you don't know. It's trust, or perhaps something deeper. A reminder that we're all travelers hoping to reach home. The Vanishing Hitchhiker asks us to look closer, to wonder what kindness we owe to strangers and what debts we carry from the past. Some say the stories have roots in older myths. In ancient times, travelers met spirits on crossroads, gods and ghosts who tested kindness and courage. If you offered food or shelter, you might earn a blessing. If you turned away, you might carry a curse. The road spirits today feel like echoes of those old trials, a test of our willingness to help someone in need, even if we know the road may hold more than we can see. Drivers who speak of these encounters rarely wish to see them again. It's enough to remember the shape in the rearview mirror. The chill that lingers long after the heater hums warm again. The address that leads not to a house but to a grave. Sometimes the stories end gently. A driver picks up a passenger who says little but thanks them softly. When they vanish, no fear remains, just a sense of quiet, as if a burden lifted. Some believe these spirits seek a final kindness, a last ride home, a chance to feel human warmth before drifting back into the mist. For some, telling the story is enough to pass it on, to keep the memory alive. Next time you drive a lonely road at night, watch the shoulders carefully. Look for the shape that might stand there waiting. Decide if you will stop. Decide if you believe. If you ever see headlights behind you where there should be none, or feel the seat shift when no one climbs in, remember you are not the first. The road is full of stories. Some we make up to scare each other. Some we whisper to remind ourselves that kindness carries risk, but also mystery, and maybe, just maybe, a little magic. So, tonight, as you close your eyes and drift toward dreams, let the road stretch on in your mind. Long, dark, quiet. Imagine the hum of tires on asphalt, the steady rhythm of white lines flicking by. See the figure by the roadside, standing in the rain. Will you stop? Or will you drive on, safe in the warmth of your car, carrying the story with you like a secret? Thank you for traveling this winding road with me tonight on Bedtime Myths and Mysteries. If you enjoyed this journey, please subscribe for more tales that drift through the hidden corners of our world. Like this story if it kept you company, and share it with another dreamer who loves shadows and headlights in the dark. Sleep well, dream deep, and may your roads always lead you safely home. Good night.